Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I'm going to be going over all of the cars that you guys can expect to see in the new Forza Motorsport 7 Totino's car pack. Now, the gameplay you're going to be watching on screen is drifting of my Alpha Giulia drift car. It's got like 800 something horsepower and it's absolutely mental. But before we before we get too much into the car, let's talk about the cars in this car pack. Now, starting off, we have the 2017 BMW number 24 BMW Team RLL M6 GT LM. Now, one hell of a long name, but this is a proper race car. This car has a lot of racing time under its belt, as far as, like, you know, IMSA racing and stuff like that, and it's cool to see, some proper race cars coming into the game with this pack, and I cannot wait to give this thing a test run. I think it's going to be an absolute beast to drive. Now, there's also the 1997 Lotus Elise Gt1. Now, the Elise Gt1 is probably the car I am the most excited about in this entire pack, if not maybe among one or two other cars, but this is one of the main cars that I'm excited about in this pack, because the Lotus Elise Gt1 kind of embodies everything about lightweight, zippy, insect-like sports cars that bridge the gap between street car and race car. And there's a lot of interesting little quirks about this car. It's very interesting, and I'm actually quite excited to see what happens when we try to do a take this car out for a run in Forza Motorsport 7. It's funny because if you actually look at it, it sort of looks like there's a lot of the Venom Gt that was taken from the Elise Gt1. It's interesting because you look at the Elise Gt1 and then you look at a Venom Gt and you're like, huh, the Venom Gt has a lot of pieces that look very much inspired by the Elise Gt1. Now, moving on, we have the 1967 Nissan R380 and then the number 2. So this car is very interesting. It's very much an older style, very older style race car. It was basically made to be a competitor against Porsche in the late 60s, and I'm curious to see how it drives, being that it very much looks like a super sleek aerodynamic design, and it should be very fast on, say, for example, the Le Mans circuit. But I'm also curious to see what you can do with this car in terms of engine swaps, and if we'll be able to put a extra meaty tire underneath it. And considering, like, what we may or may not be able to do with the engine swaps, this may end up being one very, very fast car. Now, the other car that I am extremely excited about in this pack is the 1970 Citroen 2CV. Now, basically, the Citroen 2CV is one of those cars that's famous for being weird, it's famous for being slow, and it's famous for being weird looking, kind of ugly duckling syndrome, very strange, but there's a lot of weird quirks to this car. It was actually made to be able to do mild off-roading, actually, just kind of like through farmer fields and things like that, and very, very, very strange car. It's also now, a lot of people probably know that it's front-wheel drive, but it was a very early front-wheel drive, and I think it kind of partially started the idea of, like, everything that was French since then was front-wheel drive. Like, French shopping carts may as well have been front-wheel drive since then. I mean, the French just love front-wheel drive for some reason, and ever since the 2CV, it kind of really took off. Now, another car that it's going to be a very interesting one is the 1968 Subaru 360, also known as the Ladybug. It's a very kind of, you know, insect slash bug-like in shape, but whereas the Elise Gt1 is like a wasp of sorts, this is more of like a little, just like it says, a ladybug, and it's definitely going to be one of those cars that I'm curious to see how it works, but it's probably going to be very, very slow, because mounted in the rear is a inline 2-cylinder 356 cubic centimeter motor or engine. And basically, think about that, 356 cc's. The common 600cc motorcycle is more than that. Like, most motorcycles have a larger displacement engine than this little Subaru. It's going to be so slow. But you know what? That's okay, because it doesn't need to be some insane powerhouse mobile, but I will say what it does need to be, and what it probably will end up being, is lots and lots and lots of fun. And if it's not lots and lots of fun, I'll be very, very surprised. Now, we also have the 1993 Porsche 911 Turbo S Leichtbau. I don't know how you actually pronounce that, and I'm going to be... I butchered that name, I know. But it's a 993 Turbo S, and... Or, sorry... Not an, or wait. My Porsche, like, chassis code memory is, like, all over the place right now. But anyways, they say that it will be basically one of the most, it should be one of the most, entertaining cars to drive, if not also a little bit sketchy. And I think, considering the fact that all of the older Porsche turbos have been a little bit sketchy, this one should be no different. Now, the last car that I'm going to talk about in this pack is the 1967 Volkswagen Type 3 1600L. Basically, there's three different types here. There's some very interesting stuff behind this car, and I don't quite know how to describe it to you guys aside from like the best terminology I can use is weird. It's just weird. I don't know how to it's just weird. Like, it's weird. How else do you describe this car other than the fact that it's just very strange and very, very freaky, and just, I don't know what we're going to be doing with this car, but I think there's definitely going to be some, there's going to be some weird things to come out of it. Like, for example, the flat 4 engine in the Type 3 is known as the pancake engine because it's apparently got an insanely low profile to allow more luggage space. It's just weird stuff. But depending on whether or not we can make some kind of epic track monster out of it, we'll have to wait and see. But that is the car pack, and I really hope that we can get our hands on some of the cars as soon as possible, and then hopefully either later today or, well, when I say later today, either tonight or very early tomorrow, you guys will be seeing the cars in this car pack, and we're going to be doing a few different kinds of builds. We're going to be doing some high-powered builds. We're going to be doing some drift builds. We're going to be having loads of fun with pretty much all the cars in this pack, and I'm excited to get my hands on it. Hope you all are excited to get your hands on it as well and to see it, and I'm really looking forward to this first pack of 2018 for Forza Motorsport 7. So definitely gonna be a fun one with this pack. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought of it, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see y'all again soon. Talk to you guys later.